Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis. This is for trading on November 22nd, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. All right, so overall, the broad themes that we saw today was mostly around US and China. So the impeachment hearings are still going on. And then in regards to the US and China relationship, there were comments last night from China saying that they're making progress on the in the trade talks here. Now, later though, the problem that we see right now is that US has passed the bill in both the Senate and the Congress in regards to the Hong Kong human rights. Now, if President Trump signs that, that will be a big concern for trade talks. So right now, there's no agreement in place. And even though there have been a lot of comments in regards to both US and China talking about how progress is being made on this, on the agreement, there is really nothing is actually in place yet. So markets are actually starting to come around to that. We have seen this back and forth where every time we see the market start to sell off, there's a comment that comes out that puts a positive spin on this whole thing. So at this point, we will see more volatility related to that. So just keep that in mind, that any comments that come out in regards to the US and China relationship or trade agreement will cause moves in the market. Now, so that was the broad theme here. Going into Friday here, we have a ton of data coming out. So first of all, from the Eurozone, we have PMI numbers. PMI numbers are leading indicators to retail sales and GDP numbers. So these numbers are very, very important. And if we see that the numbers drop below the expected or expectations, we are likely to see euro drop as a result as well. Actually, another thing that happened today was also in regards to tariffs on EU. There were some comments about how they would investigate, US may investigate the trade relationship. Let me see if I can find something in regards to that. I don't see it here. Okay, so, but I think the EU, the talk about EU tariffs may surface again, and we could see problems arising from that as well. So tomorrow on Friday, we have Euro PMI numbers as well as UK PMI numbers here as well. And then we have core retail sales out of Canada, as well as PMI numbers from the US. So overall, the day is dominated with the PMI numbers, and expect reaction as a result of these numbers. So expect a volatile day, volatile trading day tomorrow. So let's go on to our charts now. We'll start off with euro dollar. So for the euro dollar, we see the entire week price has been trading in a range. We started the week off in the range here, and we are still in that range. I do like today's candle close. The problem here would be the support level. Price has a nice pin bar here. I like the bearish pin bar. I would be cautious with the support level here. So if price doesn't go through the support level, it can go back in the range towards the high of the range. So keep that in mind. But for now, bias is bearish. And in terms of a pullback, I would look for a pullback towards 1.1080 and then looking for a drop here. But again, if price does not drop below 1.1050, then we got a problem. So for now, though, I'm looking for a drop. Bias is bearish. And our target, the first target here for euro will be at 1.1020, and then the second target at 1.0990. So bias here is bearish for euro dollar. Okay, next one here, pound dollar here. Pound as well, we have a pin bar, so bias is bearish. But again, price has been trading in a range here as well, so we just need to be careful. Another thing to keep in mind here is we had this sharp drop here, this inefficient move in pound as well as in euro here. So what happens with these moves is that price can go and fill these moves, so just be mindful of that. We could get a move back all the way even into R1 here before we see a drop. So keep that in mind. But overall, though, bias is bearish, and I will look for a drop. But because price has been trading in this range here for several days, for the entire week, if we don't see a drop below 1.2880, again, we could see price go back up towards the high of the range. So be mindful of that. But bias is bearish based on the bearish pin bar here, and this is the move that I'm looking for. So once price drops below 1.2880, I will look for a continuation of the move lower towards 1.2820. So bearish bias here for pound dollar. But in terms of our pullback, do keep in mind the R1 level, because we could see price go back up before it drops. Aussie dollar here, this one is looking bearish. We have a nice bearish candle close here. Yesterday we were looking for a drop. We got that drop. Now bias is bearish, and we are looking for price to drop further here. In this case, our first target is 0.6770 back into the support level, and then looking for 0.6740. So bias here is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one is nice as well. We see that price has dropped here. We have a nice bearish pin bar here, so looking for price to drop further. So New Zealand dollar is also looking bearish. I will look for price to drop towards 0.6360. That will be the first target. And the second target is 0.6320. Bias here is bearish for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, dollar CAD had a reversal today, and that had to do with Bank of Canada governor pull laws. So on Tuesday, we heard comments from Bank of Canada basically saying that Bank of Canada has room to move, and the overall, basically, the tone was quite dovish. But Governor Polas today came out and said that Bank of Canada is at a good place where it is right now, and not looking to make any policy changes in the near future, and that pushed the dollar CAD down because Canadian dollar strengthened as a result of that, because market viewed those comments as bullish. So here we have a bearish candle close as a result of that, because Canadian dollar strengthened, so dollar CAD dropped here. Now I will look for price to drop further. Keep this in mind that this one is also into support here. So if price doesn't drop through today's low, we could see this one go back up, but bias here is bearish, and I'm looking for price to drop further here as long as it can make it through the support. So our target here, the first target is 1.3240, and the second target is 1.3210. So bias is bearish for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodities. So we'll start off with silver here. Silver, we have a bearish candle close, so bias is bearish still. Looks like it's rejecting the high of the range, so I will look for a potential move to the downside. So as long as price stays below 17.15, we're likely to see it drop here. So bearish bias for now, and target here is 16.85, and then 16.60. So bearish bias for silver. Gold here, this one looks bearish as well. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle close here. So we're likely to see a drop. Bias is bearish. Target is the bottom of this range. So this is where price has been stuck for quite some time, almost 2 weeks here. And now we have a nice bearish candle close that has rejected the high. So looking for it to drop. 1446 is the target to the downside. So bias is bearish for gold. Oil here, oil is looking bullish. So yesterday we were looking for a move higher. We did get that right, well, just above our second target, or just above our target here. And now we do see a close above the previous day's high. So bias is bullish. Watch out for a bit of a pullback into 57.90, and then looking for a move higher. Target is 59.20. So bias here for the oil is bullish. So for Canadian dollar, we have oil going up. So if oil continues to go up, we're likely to see Canadian dollar go up as well. And those comments from Bank of Canada were positive as well. So we could see dollar CAD drop as a result. So overall, bias for oil is bullish. Copper here looking bearish. Yesterday we had a nice pin bar, so we got to follow through here. Price is coming into support. As we can see, for last week and a half here, price has been bearish, or sorry, price has been trading in a range. So now today price is bearish, but we are close to support, so we need to be careful here. So I'm looking for price to basically drop here into the support at 2.57. And only if it breaks below that would I look for price to drop further here. Otherwise, we could just see price come into support and then go back into the range as it did previous 3 times here. So we could see price turn around and go back up. So keep an eye on that, but bias is bearish. First target is 2.57, and only if it crosses through that level, then we're looking at 2.53. So copper looking bearish. Bitcoin here went right into our second target at 73.80 level here. Bias overall still bearish here. Now we are into important support here, so we need to keep an eye on this. If price holds above our support level, it could go back up just like it did over here. So keep that in mind. So we have a double a bottom type of formation that can happen, but double bottom won't be complete till we see a turnaround. So at this point, bias is bearish. If price breaks through the support level, it could fall further into 68.30. So bias is bearish for Bitcoin at the moment. S&P 500. S&P 500 had dropped, and then we saw comments out of China, which pushed the market back up. So last 2 days, this is where the market has been. Today's candle close here is looking neutral. We do have some bullishness in the candle, so we could see price move higher. But right now, I would say keep an eye on how things develop between US and China. So if President Trump signs the bill into law, that could be negative because China doesn't like that, and China doesn't want President Trump to actually sign the bill into law. So keep an eye on external things going on between US and China, because that will have an impact on the market. So if Trump does sign it, we're likely to hear negative comments from China, which are likely to cause the market to drop. But right now, though, it is still holding up, and as such, bias is neutral here. So what I'm looking for here is a move back higher towards 31.14 level, and if it stays below that, then I will look for a drop back into the support level here at 3080. And if it holds above, then we're looking for a move back into this range, so price could become range bound here. Now, should there be some positive developments that come out, or comments that come out either from the US or China, we could see price go up here through the resistance. And if that happens, we could see it go all the way into 3130. But for now, it's neutral. NASDAQ here, same thing. We saw a drop based on the Chinese comments, but then, we saw a drop, but then the Chinese comments pushed the market higher here. Same thing here. We do have a neutral candle here. We have a large pin on top, or sorry, I should say the pin size and the candle body size are about the same. So I'm looking for a retest of the high of today's candle. If it stays below that, then I will look for price to drop. So looking for a pullback into 8,300, and if it stays below that, then I will look for price to drop into 8,220, and only if it goes through that level would I look for a continuation move to the next level at 8,150. So for now, bias is neutral. But if price breaks through the high, then we have the next high where price could go to. So for now, our bias here for NASDAQ is neutral. Okay, next one here, this is Dow Jones. This one is completely neutral. We have a spinning top, pins on both sides. So completely neutral candle close here. Same thing here as well. I'm looking for a retest of the high. If price stays below, then looking for it to drop towards the support 27,680 level. But if it goes through the high here, then it could go all the way into the high. Next one is DAX here. DAX, we were looking for a drop. We got that drop, but then it has pushed back into this range. So it's a nice bullish candle close here. And if it holds above 13,120, we're likely to see a further move higher here. So bias here is bullish. Now, what could happen here is it gets stuck into the high. So same thing here. It hasn't broken through yesterday's high. And if it holds below that level, then we could again see this one become a range bound as well. But for now, bias is bullish, and once price goes through today's high, I will look for it to go higher towards 13,300. So bullish bias for DAX. FTSE here, this one's looking bullish here as well. We did see that initial drop, and then price has gone up. We have a bullish pin bar. However, it's right into our resistance. So if we do not see a break here, then we could see a drop. So we do need to see a continuation here in order for price to continue on its upward journey. Otherwise, this ends up becoming just a pullback for a further drop. So at this point, bias is bullish, but I would only look for a move higher if it breaks through the high. Then I will look for price to go into the next level here at 73.30 level. Otherwise, we could see a turnaround. So for now, bullish bias for FTSE. Last one here, we have Nikkei. Nikkei is looking bullish at the moment. We did see a big drop here yesterday, but those positive comments out of China did push everything higher. And as a result, we have a close back into this range that price has been in for last couple of weeks, or actually over 2 weeks now. So at this point, as long as price stays above this support level, 22,980, then looking for a move higher. So for now, bias is bullish for FTSE. Now, keep in mind, there is a resistance level there as well. And the resistance level would be right into, almost into where it is. So 23,200. So if price does not go through that, it can turn around here. So basically today's high, if price is not able to hold above today's high, it can still drop. So this goes across the board here. If price does not break through today's high for all our indices here, we could see a drop. But if it breaks through today's high, then we're looking for a move higher. So this is how I'm viewing it. It does have bullishness in it, but for it to continue, we need to see a break above, and then we have lots of room for price to go higher. All right, so that's it for today. Have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.